Even though this weekend is San Diego Comic-Con and the exclusives for that convention are being released, somehow, someway, D23 exclusives have already been leaked for Funko. So I'm DK Wrestler, and in today's video, I'm going to be discussing about the D23 2024 Funko leaks from Scarlet Joker, along with other different leaks that have been posted that are just absolute banger pops that could be coming out in the year of 2025. So let's get right to it. And of course, me being DK Wrestler, I gotta talk about some upcoming WWE pops coming down the pipeline, which include Gunther, Io Sky, LA Knight, Stacy Keibler, The Heartbreak Kid, and X-Pac D-Generation X. Now, I actually enjoyed this list of WWE pops because besides The Heartbreak Kid, which of course is Shawn Michaels, every single one of these superstars has never been transformed into a Funko Pop yet. Of course, X-Pac being a member of D-Generation X, it makes sense. They've already done the Shawn Michaels and the Triple H DX pops. Heartbreak Kid, who knows what they're gonna do for a new Shawn Michaels realistically. Stacy Keibler, they can do lots of things with Stacy Keibler. Perhaps, could they add those cheeks on them? Just saying. LA Knight is someone that I had predicted on our podcast late last year for potential new WWE pops because, of course, he is on the meteoric rise as one of the top fan favorite WWE superstars out there, and I'm curious with what look they're possibly going to be going with this pop. Io Sky, I could only imagine that because a lot of WWE superstars get pops from like the last year, that she's probably going to be holding the WWE Women's Championship with her pop. And speaking of championships, Gunther, the Ring General, will probably most likely hold the Intercontinental Championship with his Funko Pop, since he is now the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in history. The next leak we're talking about is an upcoming set of Brave Little Toaster Pops, which features Toaster with Chase, Lamp and Blinky with Chase, and Kirby with Radio, which I have mentioned for years, even on our wishlist podcast, that they should make Brave Little Toaster Pops, and now it's finally happening. And of course, this is the perfect set of pops to do with the perfect amount of characters of only 3, because after all, we don't want to have an abundance of pops and then a lot of them being on the shelf and then having to go on clearance. Next up is a set of Kim Possible pops, which features Kim Possible, Raw Unstoppable with Rufus, and Shigo. Now, my co-host MD Shady has mentioned multiple times on this channel that he's been wanting Kim Possible pops, pretty much exactly what's listed here, especially with Raw Unstoppable with Rufus being the little like gerbil rat thing. It's been like 20 plus years since I've seen Kim Possible, so you know, with me being a pro wrestler and being hit in the head so many times, you kind of forget some of this stuff. Next up, we have a wave of Superstore Funko Pops that features Amy Sosa, Dina Fox, and Garrett McNeil. I am so ecstatic that Superstore is actually getting pops, a TV series that had a pretty great following when it was on Netflix, and especially I would have thought that Funko would have made pops when the last season happened a couple of years ago. And I'm actually really surprised that with this 3-pop set, they don't have a pop of Jonah, since he is pretty much one of the main characters of the show. However, the fact that we do have Superstore pops is super exciting. If there so happens to be a sexy cop Dina, I may have to cop that for my collection, not gonna lie. Then we have Barney pops possibly coming out, which features of course Barney and Baby Bob. Another set of pops that seemed for the longest time it was unlikely, but may actually happen now. Then coming down the pipeline is a new set of Jimmy Neutron pops that features Jimmy Neutron, Carl Weezer, and Sheen. I feel like this is actually a perfect 3-pop set for Jimmy Neutron. Of course, a new Jimmy Neutron. We have the first Carl, which people really wanted a Carl pop when the original Jimmy Neutron got announced, and then Sheen being a part of that is really awesome also. And when I first saw this, I thought, what are they gonna do with another Jimmy Neutron? And I feel like the logical way of doing this is more of a Pop and Buddy, where it is Jimmy Neutron and his robotic dog, which once again, I can't exactly remember what the dog's name is. Actually, luckily enough, as I'm looking in the comments of the photo I'm looking at, someone did write Goddard, which I believe that is the dog's name. So thank you to the person on Instagram who wrote that in the comments. Then we got a new Fairly Odd Parents set to release, which has Timmy Turner, Wanda with the Rules, and Cosmo with Poof. Now, it was really awesome when we initially got that 3-pack featuring these characters for San Diego Comic-Con last year, and we weren't sure whether there were going to be any more Fairly Odd Parents pops after that, but now it seems like it is very likely. Then pops for The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy are set to come out, which of course featured Bill, Mandy, and Grim. This is a show that I feel like I've watched a couple of times, but I can't exactly remember what it's about, but it's cool to see some of these shows that I definitely watched at some point during my childhood possibly be made into pop form as early as 2025. Then we got Ed, Edd and Eddy pops that features Ed with Chase, Double D, and Eddie. This is actually one of those kid shows from back in the day that probably would have aired when I was a kid that I actually have never seen before, which I know people are gonna be like, how could you not seen it before? Like, come on, like, give me some slack here. Then we got ourselves a Deadpool and Wolverine pop, and it says spoiler warning because it involves one of the recent trailers. So if you are one of those people that don't watch the trailers, I would skip maybe about 30 seconds to a minute ahead because I am gonna be talking about this, which I'm gonna give a little time for someone to actually skip a little bit.
A few moments later.
The pop revealed here is Lady Deadpool, which I'm actually not surprised about this, especially being more of a common release, and a little bit of a spoiler in our upcoming New York Comic-Con predictions video. I did predict a Deadpool and Wolverine pop, but it actually wasn't Lady Deadpool because I kind of figured that she was going to be more of a common release since a lot of people probably want a pop of this character for this movie. And now, last but not least, we're going to be talking about the D23 leaks, in which I'm actually really surprised that Funko is doing D23 exclusives for this year. So we're going to talk about them basically one by one. So the first one on this leak, which was actually revealed by Funko themselves, is a Disney Icons pop of Bob Gurr, and I believe it is going to be limited to 3,000 pieces. To make a pop of him seems pretty cool, and especially makes sense to be a limited piece count since not everyone's going to want a pop of Bob Gurr. Then listed here is a Marvel 2-pack, and it features Spider-Man and Venom, and it will be cell shaded. We've seen a few different Marvel and Star Wars cell shading pops recently from Funko, so this does seem like a pretty decent idea to do, and especially using characters like Spider-Man and Venom, it definitely makes sense. This also, I believe, adds hype to the upcoming Venom 3 movie that's coming out in theaters very soon, so I think that's a reason of why they're doing this pop. Then listed for Star Wars, we have a 2-pack, and it's more specifically listed as Light Side versus Dark Side. Now, this could be many things realistically. This could be another Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader, or maybe we could have, what, Obi-Wan Kenobi or Count Dooku? I don't exactly know. All that it describes here is that we're gonna have probably a Jedi and a Sith Lord in some sort of 2-pack, and it doesn't specifically mention exactly what part of Star Wars it's from. And then listed here, we have a 2-pack from the Disney Pixar movie Luca, but it doesn't exactly mention what characters are featured. It just says to be determined, which I'm a little surprised that they are doing more pops for Luca, because I feel like that set didn't really sell well, even with the regular Luca and Albertos, and then you have the C versions of them, and then I believe they had the one girl character that they always hung out with in the movie. The only thing that I feel like would make it surprising as a D23 exclusive for Luca is if maybe you take that girl character and then her dad that was very super popular in that movie and possibly make that into a 2-pack, because I feel like that he was really, in my opinion, the highlight of that movie, and I think his look in the movie would translate pretty decently into pop form. And then we have ourselves listed here, to be determined. It's a 2-pack, and it's to be determined. I cannot stress it enough how annoying it is when these leak pages just decide, hey, there's going to be a 2-pack, but we don't know where it's from, and we don't know who's included with it. What's even the point of listing that down realistically? So we don't know whether it could be for Star Wars, whether it could be for Disney, whether it could be for Marvel, even Pixar, perhaps another Toy Story 2-pack, or maybe Incredibles, since we did get the Edna Mode pop for San Diego Comic-Con, and this year is the 20th anniversary of Incredibles, so it could be 2 characters related for that. I don't exactly know, but it just grinds my gears when leak pages do this, and they just end up completely wasting time by just typing that down to post online. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed today's video of my opinion of the D23 leaks and other different Funko Pop leaks that have been posted recently, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below on what you've enjoyed that's been posted, including from D23, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.